Manifestation is about becoming the person you become. If you don't grow, you will continue to manifest only at the level of your growth, your capacity. So let's say you want to be a doctor. You can become a doctor, but until you embody the knowledge and develop the skills that level of excellence requires of you, you will struggle to manifest. You cannot become what you are not, right? So many people want to grow a business, want to do this, want to do that. But trust me, life will give you everything you want the moment, right? You are that person that can handle it, right? That can create it and can handle it. Everything is possible to you, right? All things are possible to them that believe, right? Believing must lead you to taking action, and believing helps you ascend because there are certain things you cannot achieve or do simply because you don't have the knowledge, simply because you don't have the skills, simply because you've not developed the capacity. This is the part that nobody tells people, right? We have the power of the mind, we have the power of the heart, you have the power of your energy, you have the power of your body, right? Bringing all of those things together, bringing them all forward in pursuit of your hopes, dreams, and aspiration, knowing that you are committing to becoming that person, right, that deserves and can handle that level of success. You want to become a doctor, you want to become a lawyer, you want to become a pilot. Everything you want to become is achievable. As a being, you can choose, you can create, you can become, right? But it's about growth because the person you are today, at the capacity to which you can contribute to the world today, you can also be rewarded. So life is about capacity, right? Each level of success, right, requires you to bring a certain version of you because life is fair. Life will be unfair if it keeps giving people who haven't in a way graduated, who haven't in a way developed, paid the price, who haven't become, right, who haven't given what is required to be rewarded at a certain level. Life is very fair. So when people don't grow, they don't become and they don't attain. This is where manifestation fails for most people. Why? They are being taught that just by thinking, okay, just by thinking, right, all of a sudden you can hold in your hand. There are several levels of manifestation, and I'll break them down today. Several levels and layers to manifestation. The mind is involved, the body is involved, okay? Your energy, your spirit is involved, your emotions are involved in manifestation, okay? Is that the vision you have for whatever it is you want, you have to make it clear. So clarity is required. You don't manifest things that um you are confused about, right? So confusion doesn't work. You have to activate the power of clarity. You have to be very specific. You have to really get clear in terms of what it is that you want. The reason is because if you don't get clear and you still, let me explain, this is something I see many people. They say they want more success, but they don't know what it looks like. Your mind cannot help you find what you cannot instruct it on because you have to give instruction. Like if I say, where are you going? If you cannot tell me you're going to California or you're going to Texas or you're going to Florida, and you start roaming around in the world and driving your car all over the place, you're likely to run out of resources, burn energy. Burnout is real, right? You're likely to be driving your car everywhere, anywhere, okay? And would you ever arrive? Those who hope that they arrive without clarity, those who hope that they will stumble, this is really the chaotic side of many people who show up online following everybody, hoping that people will tell them where they go, where they're going to go. You will arrive where those people have arrived, and trust me, a year later, you realize it's never what you wanted. So I see a question. Mike says clarity. What if you have more than one pressing things you want to do or have in mind? Okay. So that's a great question, by the way. And if you want to come up and discuss it, that's fine. The first thing I want to tell you is you can carry many dreams in your heart, but it's the one you have capacity for that you will manifest, right? And when I say capacity, you think about people like Elon Musk, Bezos. Over the years, they've developed capacity so they can juggle more. The more you develop yourself, nobody can stop you, right? So I always tell people, listen, Jeff Bezos started with books. He's trained himself with books. He built around books. Once you strengthen yourself and grow skills around one topic, then once you grow, trust me, once you grow in knowledge, capacity, you will be able to tackle more. The problem most people face is that they want to do everything, but they don't have the capacity, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the skills, they don't have the room, right? It's in a way, it's kind of irresponsible because if you don't manage your energy, your resources, and if you don't deploy it and target it to something that can help, that you know you can do and do it quickly, and you're like trying to do 10 things, 5 things without capacity, you will stretch yourself thin, you get frustrated, you give up, you get tired, you get worn out, and then you back out, right? But those who have capacity to do 5 things, they will do it effortlessly. And those who do not have capacity, you can't just do it. So you want to pick things you are either growing capacity in, we are trying to learn, give yourself room to. So let me stop there and just get your reaction from my response there. Mike?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Oh, good, good. Yeah. Um, well, you touched on that, and for I've listened to you for a while now, actually, except that I've not really taken any action yet in terms of your academy. But you speak about capacity. So capacity is basically same thing as developing the skills needed to do certain things. Is that the same thing, or skills and capacity is different?
Mm, okay, so there are 4 areas of development that I teach on. So, because you can have one capacity and not have in another. So, let me break down the 4 areas, right? So, the easiest one is when we talk about intellectual capacity, the knowledge you have, what you know. Okay, is that we have. If you want to go to space, you have to, to manifest it. You have to have the knowledge, right? To do it, you have to embody knowledge, right? So there might be certain things you want to do. If you don't have the knowledge, if you're ignorant about how that thing actually works, you don't have the capacity, you don't have the knowledge. Knowledge is capacity, right? Skill is capacity as well, right? So I'll give you different types of capacity that you actually, everything has to align and they sync, which is the growth journey people need to go on. So the easiest one again to learn is intellectual knowledge. If you want to be a doctor, you do have to read the books, right? You have to read those books and take in the knowledge and embody the knowledge because that will build your confidence. Because even manifestation is tied to your own belief in your own abilities, in your own capacity, in your own knowledge. You have to believe it first. You have to embody. So part of capacity is the knowledge you're going to embody. The second one is emotional capacity. The higher you go, the more pressure you'll be subjected to. And many people are immature emotionally. Their emotion is out of control because emotion is the seat of energy management, right? The highs and low, all these, all right, how people move through life energetically. If you embody negativity, you cannot be creative. You cannot creative because that's toxicity,
Can
right?
you
So
can you
go on.
kindly give us a good example of when you use the word embody toxicity. I mean, I understand, but so like a good example would be like your perception about certain things is negative, or you thinking negatively all the time, or
Mm-hmm.
you think that getting to where you need to get to does not require some sort of hard work or sacrifice. Is that
Mm-hmm.
those things you're talking about?
So part of emotion is your belief system. Life will give you what you believe. So what you believe about yourself, what you believe about other people, what you believe about the world in general is part of manifestation. And so if people believe, for example, people are so bad, people don't give this, nobody supports me, oh, nobody's going to help me because I'm black, nobody does this, because I'm female, nobody does that, oh, this, that. When people doubt and when people are afraid, they will continue to manifest their fears and their doubts. Okay? Part of manifestation is you actually have to tune in to believe positively that what I want, I can get, and life will give it to me. Right? So until you arrive at this point of believing that whatever you want, you can get, and that is the positive approach to life, you will not, like, life doesn't even care whether you embody negativity or not. The point is, whatever you embody, you will attract and you will get it. Your mind and your body listens to your thoughts and words and they respond to you. The world at large also is designed to give you whatever you believe. So if you don't want to manifest negativity or doubt or fears, get rid of all of that. Whatever you want to get, embody it in your belief system. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense because like using an example of somebody that sees the world in a very negative way. Oh, somebody's out to get me, this and that. Normally, that's what they end up attracting. I think I can understand
Yeah,
that.
and they will see it everywhere. So
Right, right.
once they tune themselves that this is how life is, their their mind body will be looking for it everywhere and they will be finding it everywhere, which means their belief system will be solidified, right? It's like they'll be believing it over and over and over again because their mind and mind and body will search for what you believe in the world. It's like a scan because there are many things going on in the world. Not everything is for you. So how you dictate to your mind and body that this is what I want is by belief system. And once you embody a belief system, guess what? Your mind and body will scan the world based on your belief and will continue to show you, hey, this is what you believe. This is what you believe. You told us this is what you believe. So you'll be seen, and that's what causes attraction. Simply, when you just say attraction is you are orienting yourself to only see this side of life. So there are blinders on. And it's like the red car. If you say you want a red car, guess what you're going to be seeing everywhere? Red car.
Red card.
Even though even though there are many types of car. So it's the instruction you give your mind and your body that your mind and body will follow. If you say you're going to California, your mind and body will help you get there.
It's like this thing that I've actually observed in my own personal life, where like for example, like let's say you were thinking about use this let's say okay, let me use my own personal experience. At one point, I had a friend that went and got a bit what you call it a Jeep, right? And for me, I could care less about a Jeep, right? The one that looks like the sporty one, the one that you could change the door, you could change the doors and the roof and things like that. I think the Rubicon one actually. Before that, I could never see those kind of cars. But when my friend got it, I started noticing much more of that, meaning that I was much more aware that those cars are actually around. But before, I didn't notice that. So I'm guessing that is
Exactly.
something
Hmm.
something like that. Like, now you are paying attention to that, and so now you
Hmm.
can see it. Before you wasn't able to see it.
Right. And the question would be, what made you pay attention? Right. That's the question.
Yes. So for
Yeah,
me,
it's going to be
hmm
an internal conversation you've had with yourself. You attached meaning to it, because if you didn't attach any meaning to it, you will not, your mind and body will still not try to connect you to it.
oh yeah, yeah, that's true. Because what I remember, think what made a difference for me at that point was that I said, "Oh wow!" When I started in it, I said it was really nice. It's like a little nice Jeep,
Yeah, yeah, it's
that
not,
can go anywhere. The
it's
terrain, so
actually is stronger than nice, trust me.
right,
It's gonna
right, like
let's dive into it. It's stronger than nice. There must have been a side of you that issued this subtle, it may be subtle or strong desire. Maybe you drove the car, you entered it, you smelt it, and you're like, this is not bad.
I did.
You saw yourself in that car. That's why. Because if you didn't see yourself in that car, you will still not notice
That
it.
is true. I saw myself in that car.
Okay. You did. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. The moment you see yourself in its circumstance, the moment you tell a story that this thing could belong to you, or you don't mind it belonging to you, or I would love to have it, that signals that is you. The moment you attach your desire, your will, your energy to anything, your mind and body will take it seriously. Your mind and body is designed to give you your desires. Is designed, they are in service to you, they are designed to obey you. The moment in your gut feeling, right, you say, nice, not bad, I don't mind, but right now, let me now couple it to true manifestation. The reason you also will start seeing it externally is, at that point, you actually have the capacity to buy it or not. If you didn't have the capacity to buy it, your mind will send you on an errand to increase your income, right? To find a way to pay for it. But the moment you have the money in your hand and you want something, guess what? You will start seeing. It's a reminder. You said you want this and you have the capacity, you have the financial capacity, buy it, buy it, buy it. Now, at that point, you will start fighting yourself again. Do I really want to buy it? Am I not? That's the new argument, is that because your energy is attached to it, and because you have the money to buy it, your mind will be reminding you to get what you said you wanted, and now all of a sudden you now have to negotiate with yourself. Do you want to buy it now or later? But if you didn't have the money, your mind can say, you know what? Let's go get the money. But once you have the money, it will be showing you everything you can afford. That's life. Right? Everything you can achieve, right? Everything you can buy right now that you want, you'll be seeing it every day. The attraction will be stronger, stronger, stronger. But if you cannot afford it, your mind will tell you something else. Make sense?
It makes sense. The word, yeah. So if you can't afford it though, so it means the desire is there, but it's just that
Okay.
the energy is not strong enough at that point. But
Let's
the
see.
desire is still
Hmm.
there.
Let's see. For somebody that doesn't know the law of manifestation, their mind will kill that dream.
Mm.
Okay. The mind would look at the physical conditions and say you cannot have this, and they will believe their mind. The mind takes over, and the mind can condition them to kill their own dreams. Now, if you know the laws of manifestation, you will not let that happen, because you will retrain your mind. If you really, really want it, but you cannot afford it yet, there's a higher principle, right? Where you hold your dreams. You still hold you don't let that mind kill it. You hold your dreams and you lay a plan. that will allow you to still get it. Maybe it's 1 year, 2 years. You might have to work for it. It might have to take longer. You might have to discipline yourself. You might have to work longer hours. So this is what happens. People who cannot commit to their dreams, they give up on their dreams,
Repeat
right?
that again, please. Repeat that again. It's
Okay,
very important. Repeat that again. The very last sentence you mentioned.
sure. People who cannot commit to their dreams, they will give up on that dream.
Well, I guess I have commitment issues. I really do. So how do people like me who has big dreams but never has been able to actually able to start, but they don't finish and they stop and they start and they stop and it's just like going
Hmm.
around in circles.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that is a pure commitment issue, correct? I mean,
No, no,
based
no,
on
no.
that.
It's not. No,
If you
it's
start and you stop, that's commitment
mm,
issue, right?
no, 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 no,
No.
no. There's a class. Actually, there are 7 classes that I teach on emotional intelligence, emotional management. Because I'll give you. It's more complex than that. For example, there's something I teach. I call it self leadership. There are 6 steps to self leadership. Okay. The first one is activation. Do you want it? Yes. Next is inspiration. Do you believe you can have it? Yes. The next is motivation. Are you ready to do the work to have it? Yes. The fourth one is likely what's the problem. I call it education. Are you ready to learn what it takes, right? To do what, because without education, you can dream all you want, you can pursue all you want, but if you're lacking the knowledge and the skills, you will give up because of the frustration of lack of knowledge. And then there is challenging yourself, and then there's transformation, then there is really just holding yourself accountable. Okay. So that's why for me, again, I don't like people who just say one word and then people start trying this, trying that, it doesn't work. I break it down. No, become more self aware. Being self aware is, for example, you want to learn how to drive a car. You're a teenager. You want to learn how to drive a car. Do you give up on that? No, you commit to learning. The problem is like people are not committing to learning.
Mm.
They want to drive a car, but they don't know how to drive a car. So they are not committing to learning how to, right? So the question is everything you've attempted in the past that you tried and tried and tried, as a human being, there's bound to be frustration if you keep trying something and it's not working. Right? So
Right.
you have to be gentle with yourself, right?
Wow. That is an eye opener because being self critical does not help. And I've
It
been,
doesn't.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't help. I tell people don't beat the donkey that you want to ride to success. You have to feed it and you have to care for it, right? Think about your body. So the 4 capacity, the areas. Hi Jose, welcome to the space. So I was talking about 4 capacity. Let me explain. So the first is intellectual, second is emotional, the third is spiritual, energetic, the fourth is the body. Okay? So there's the mind, there's the body. You see, the mind can have certain information, but you have to train your body to handle. This is where skill develop. Let me give you an example. Basketball. Okay. We all know, okay, I'll just make an assumption that at least most people know what it takes. You know, the rules of the game. There are rules of life. There are rules of anything you want to do, business, whatever it is you want to do, there are rules. So you have to learn the rules. But knowing the rules of basketball doesn't mean you've developed the skill. Knowing the rules of golfing doesn't mean you're Tiger Woods, right? Your mind can know the rules. Where people fail is the discipline and the practice so that your body, your hands, your embodiment, your body must You must train your senses, your nerves, your hands, your mouth, communicate. You must train your body to perform the task. Make sense? I can
Yeah,
give you a ball now. If I give you a ball,
it makes sense, but let me put it in my own context of what you're trying to
sure,
say. So
sure,
basically,
sure.
it's like somebody's first time doing a push up. Okay, so they know they have the intellectual mind. I mean, the intellectual knowledge of how to do a push up properly, right? The next stage is training themselves to actually do it. Correct? That's something
Mhm.
along those lines,
Yes, and then you might do it once or twice. But if
right?
you really want to get right, if you really want to get perfect at it, it comes with repetition and practice.
Ah, that
So
part. Yeah, that part
experience,
too.
so
Petition practice.
experience, right?
Yeah.
So experience comes with repetition and practice.
Yeah.
The law and experience doesn't grow overnight,
Tough. Yeah.
right? This is part of manifestation. Obama,
So,
as a young boy, wanted to become a president. This is where growth comes in, right? Is that who do you need to become to be able to achieve everything? When people are not patient, they give up. They think it's going to be overnight. They think that $1 million business is overnight. They think you can become a doctor overnight. You can become a pilot overnight. No, manifestation has its own time. It's like planting a seed. What you plant, just because you planted 2 or 5 different seeds on the same day, does not mean they are going to germinate the same time. The seed in the DNA of the seed, right? There's encoded information about the conditions that will help it manifest, right? So if you want to be a bodybuilder, you can become a bodybuilder, but it will take time, right? To
yeah,
embody, for your body to catch up with your desires, right?
that is true. Yes, but somehow
You want,
we miss that. We miss that because we somehow think, or maybe our mind tricks us to make us think that some of these things should not take that long, and that is, I guess,
okay, yeah,
the kind of
yeah,
thinking
that's
that lead us
ignorance.
to
Yeah,
failure.
yeah, that's no, 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 that's ignorance. Ignorance is erratic. Listen, let me tell you something. Anytime I come on this app and I go from room to room, all I have to do is listen to somebody for 5 minutes, and I can tell you if this person has ever done what it is they're talking about or not. Anybody that makes anything sounds easy, fast, right? Overnight, run away from them. Quickly, quickly, like run. Because we that we are in the real trenches, we will tell you the truth. Anybody that says, "Oh, I'm going to build a website, then I'm going to do this. Oh, don't worry, don't, I'm going to do that." Listen, nothing of substance happens overnight. Nothing. You can talk about overnight success, but trust me, they've invested 10 plus years in becoming an overnight success. When opportunities meet your preparation, in a moment you will achieve success. But if you don't prepare, I always say when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. Every day is our preparation. Every day is supposed to be practice. Every day you are supposed to be showing up every day to practice. Nobody becomes LeBron James, right? You can see them on the game day. The only reason you win the Olympics is because of the first 2 years you've been showing up every day without missing one practice that nobody sees, nobody knows, right? You see Messi, like the soccer player, you see all these world champion, these actors, you see them at the height of performance. The only reason they can perform at those levels is because they show up every single day when nobody's watching them. They wake up 5 a.m., they drink this tea, they drink that, they exercise, they do all those things. Nobody sees them. You only see them on their performance day, right? And then you assess them based on that. But you didn't see the daily discipline, the rigorous practice, the years of tears and toil that led them to that point of winning the World Cup. You didn't see that. So anybody that tells you success is overnight, they are lying to you. Everything that belongs to you, you will grow into success. You have to grow. That's one of the reasons I see many people, they want to reach to the skies,
but they don't know they have to grow. That's you. If you reach, you can't until you grow. If you give a 5-year-old a car, their leg is not long enough. They can't drive the car. Many people cannot drive success simply because they don't have the capacity. It's yours. Success is always yours. Everything you dream about belongs to you, but you have to grow, right? Everything. Trust me, God doesn't hold anything from His children. If you know much about Bible, right? The promised land is right there in front of you. But if you don't fight your battles, if you don't discipline yourself, if you don't deal with all of these things, people forfeit their promised lands. Literally. Everything is possible for you. Everything you want is possible, but there's a process. People
Right.
who try to skip the process, they don't get it. Make sense?
It makes sense because I mean, I keep hearing, I keep hearing tries the process. You know, when you listen to other people talk or motivation speaking to other people talk, or even coaches that say things like tries the process. Now, why is trusting the process so important? I'm sure. I mean, you tied that in with like the Messi and Kobe
Mm.
Bryant and LeBron
Yeah,
James and whatnot, but it's
yeah,
just it goes back to that it takes time, like you plant a seed, correct?
yeah. Let me explain some things. Okay. Mercy, for example, when did he start playing soccer?
I believe
When
since
he was, I
since
don't know, eight.
probably like 7, 8.
Exactly. So I'll break something down to you. You see, the traditional education system, you may not, let me share this. You spent at, if you have a degree or two, you've invested at least 20 years, okay? At least 20 years the first 20 years of your life was invested in perfecting becoming an employee, being a subject, being in survival mode. 20 years or more from A, B, C, D, one, two, three. That's the programming that everybody in the Western society went through. 20 years to become a job seeker. Most of the things people now want today is not survival, is that your spirit is yearning for full manifestation, right? Self actualization, full ascension into everything that you know you can be, right? Your potential speaks to you inside of you, and it's crying louder and louder and asking you to give it room to grow and manifest. How long will it take you? If you spend 20 years plus whether the years you've been in corporate to become the lion in the zoo, now the lion in the wild, your DNA, the authentic version of you that's never been groomed, the greatness in you that has never been invested in or nurtured is now saying, I want to be free to be me. That's the journey most people are on today. Is not to get a job. Listen, if you want to get a job, put your resume together. You can change jobs anyhow. You know why? You've been trained. You know exactly what you need to do to go get another job. What people don't know today is how to nurture their own ideas, their own belief system, to give birth to a life that originated from inside of you, that wasn't dictated to you by society, by culture, by nature, by government, but that the dictation, right? The idea originated inside of you, right? That's the struggle because we weren't trained that way. That's the new training, right? The idea that comes from within you, how do you bring it to life? Make sense? Let's welcome. Go, Mike, you want to say something?
Oh
Okay,
no,
good. Jose,
no,
welcome
right.
to the space. Thank you for being here with us. Go ahead, please. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Hey, Queen. Happy to be here. Yeah, I just thought you talk talking on such great points. I wanted to just add to it. I thought one of the things that you mentioned, it's when it's all right there for us. The reason why it's not happening is because we're not stepping up to the plate. Think about being a leader. Thinking about getting what you want. When you want to get, if it's money, if it's anything, you have to now show up and help that many more people. So at any time, you could step up and take the action and do the work and get that outcome. It's there for you, but you're not taking those actions. So it's more habitual. It's more the natural things that you do. If you're showing up in front of 1,000 people, in front of 10,000 people, or so on, as you're going to grow. And it doesn't always have to be by popularity in that style either. It's in the type of work that makes an impact, that you create. I think it's a lot of times it's a lot harder when we're trying to create something out of our mind too, because we see it in a different way and we want to bring that to life, but nobody hasn't seen that. That's some of the times when you see somebody go, I've been watching you for a while, and they finally get it. They finally see what you're trying to bring, or they finally see that you've been consistent all this time. So now they sign up and you get those overnight successes, but it's definitely about putting in the work the whole time. Just wanted to add that. I've been kind of an entrepreneur my whole life, and I've gotten
Mm,
across multiple niches. And I think it's been, a big challenge and a big matter of patience that I have to learn to be with myself whenever it comes
mm,
to creating these things.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Let me give a secret. One of the secrets for manifesting wealth. So on the wealth creation aspect, because I teach business, and then when it comes to business, I developed all of these programs to support the entrepreneur. Let me give you one secret. You actually have to become the source. You have to become the source and the provider of something that enriches the lives of other people. You become a source. That when I talk about capacity, many people always say, I want money, I want money. They're coming into the marketplace ready to take, ready to take. They want to take, 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 take. You can't build wealth by being a taker. That's not the right. The secret is pick something you're going to be the source of. I'm giving you the secrets, right? If you figure this out, because everybody is born with a skill, with a talent, but if you don't develop it so that you can be the source, somebody that people can go to access a resource, right? You have to be positioned as a provider to people. That's the secret of wealth. People have to come to you for something. You have to be a source of something. And what usually happens is part of that development, that manifestation is to expand, to invest in that talent, those skills, acquire the knowledge that will help you to develop your capacity to resource other people. That's part of the growth, right? Because if you want, you can you serve 100 people? Can you serve 1,000? Do you actually have the capacity? People will say, I want wealth, I want $1 million. Listen, do you have the systems, strategies, skills, mindset right now to serve 1,000, to sell something of $1,000 to 1,000 people? That's $1 million right there. Because when you do, you achieve your success. And if you don't, you can keep dreaming. this is this is manifestation. You can dream, but you have to grow the capacity to perform at the level required to extract such reward from life.
That is difficult
So,
to swallow. Dreaming but not doing anything. I mean, I think for me, my fear
mm,
right now is to die with my dreams. I mean, but that's the hardest part. I mean, it's the hard part that scares me. It's as if I'm scared of hard work. But anyway, please go ahead.
no. Okay, it's good. Listen, what you're speaking out is therapy. I always tell people, listen, all the thoughts are flying inside of you. Let me tell you, I'll give you another secret. All kinds of thoughts are flying inside of people. You need to grab a pen and a paper to sort those thoughts out, because there are some of those thoughts will sabotage your dreams.
Mm.
Some of those thoughts will kill it. Some of those thoughts are there to derail it. Some of those thoughts, only few of those thoughts can actually motivate you forward. When people build an identity out of failed thoughts, thoughts that will sabotage, you cannot move forward. I always say it's like driving a car. When you press the brake on your life, you just be stuck. It's like literally some thoughts is like you're applying a brake, right? But there's another thought, like if you're in my room, you're in my school, there are thoughts that will be an accelerant. You speed, you will achieve, you have a sense of possibility. Because what's holding people back is really mind, body, emotions, spirit. That's it. But if you can align those things, you can believe, you can trust yourself, because you have to kill your doubts and fears. Your faith must conquer your doubts and fears. Because the journey of entrepreneurship, listen, it's a journey with the truth. It's how it's the relationship you're going to develop with truth, right? Because the truth is there to cut away the nonsense, the lies. And the world, there are more lies flying everywhere. Many people have more relationship with lies, and lies cannot help. Like, listen, the truth of who you are, the truth of your clients and customers, the truth of the marketplace, the truth of what's going on in your head, belief system, part of the program. Listen, part of my programs, the reason I go into a lot of inner work is that as you embark on the journey, entrepreneurship journey, your past will rush in, because you are carrying memories that may have traumatized you, that you think is buried. If you don't deal with those things, they will deal with you. You know why? You're going to need to work with people. Your success requires you to deal with people relationships. That's why the EQ series goes deep into emotions, feelings, relationship, self therapy, reparenting. Why? Because how you do life with people, okay? Whatever you believe about people who have hurt you, this person is this, that person is that. Whatever conversations you're having within yourself right now, unforgiveness, all this stuff. If you don't settle those things within you, listen, it will reappear. It will reappear, and you won't know what's going on. It will. People will be rich. Like it's like you're gonna see. Remember, I talked about being a magnet. All of the emotions you embody about people and life, if you don't make it positive, right, you will keep attracting those things all over and over, all over again. You keep seeing shadows of your past, and you don't want to carry that into your future. So part of the journey is actually to deal with relational stuff. But that's another part of business, right? So you want to say, Mike, go on. I want you to speak your mind as well. Go on.
No, no, no. I'm just listening. Because that is a very important piece you mentioned for the past 2 minutes. Just continue.
Yeah, because um, when it's time to be, for example, you want to work with clients and customers,
What?
you cannot pick, people, you cannot decide ahead of time the people you're going to encounter. So you actually have to be ready. Part of manifestation is making sure you can work with people, because people carry, right, money. All the money you want will be determined by the types of people you can engage with. And if
Right.
you already have issues, if you already have interpersonal issues, you don't manage your emotions, you cannot talk to people, you judge people, you complain, that stuff is not attractive, right? It's not attractive. So people run away, right? So
That's true.
that's another side, right? So when I talk about maturity, m- manifestation has to do with growth, emotional growth, intellectual growth, spiritual growth, and then physical well-being, physical growth as well. So at the emotional layer, you have to deal with a lot of relational stuff as well. And many people,
Why is it harder as human beings? Why is it so hard to deal with our emotions? And you mentioned something about trauma. It could be past trauma. It could be a lot of things. Why is it so hard to deal with those things? Um,
mm.
to get to, to really live that fulfilling life and to get to where you need to get. It seems
Mm.
that's really hard, you know.
Yes, 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 yes. You're not alone, by the way. Um, it's because everything comes down to ignorance. We are not taught. We weren't taught. It's like the way I talk about emotions and the way I teach it, it's like driving a car. Literally. Think about you behind the driver's seat. The car, you didn't manufacture the car. See the car as your being, your body, right? Your mind, everything about you, the car. God gave you your body, right? The car has properties, it has engine, it has the gas tank, but you cannot control the end. There are many things about your body that you don't control, your heartbeat, the skin color, all of those things. You have zero control. But guess what? When you go into the car, you're given control of how you steer your life, right? The right. If you turn right, the car will turn with you. You turn left, the car turns. You press the brakes, it obeys you. You press the accelerator, it obeys you. You switch gears, right? If you're using and manual, but if it's automatic, it will, right? Is that your entire being, and this is why I teach these things, your entire being was designed to respond to you. But guess what? When people were not groomed and trained to have agency, to drive their own life, to control their own life, and to have the skills to drive their own car to the destination of their choosing. That's the problem, is that most people were groomed and raised without agency, without control. So other people's thoughts, words, beliefs, emotions, okay, were programmed in you. Somebody else taught you how to think, what to think about, all of the things they taught people in school. They're regulated by the government. Part of maturity is to take back control. And part of the control you must take back is your emotion, right? Your emotion is actually where your thoughts and your energy collide and they create sensation reaction in your body, right? And the story you tell about what you're experiencing, right? They form your belief system. So in that class series, I break everything down so that you start being careful what stories you're telling yourself about life, because that's what you're storing inside your database. I call it your right. Your mind picks from your database. All the thoughts in your mind, they are formed, right, by all of your experiences, your cumulative experiences. Like the moment we're sharing right now, okay, this space, this conversation right now is you're building meaning out of it, right? The moment you expose your mind to new experiences, thoughts, words, right? Through your five senses: sight, sound, touch, taste, smell, right? Your senses will pick all these things up. And when you sleep at night, it wants to store it. You have a storage capacity, right? But it will ask you questions like, what meaning are you drawing out of your experiences? Because it's not everything you experience that you store. This is part of where your identity plays a role. Remember when we talked about the programming, about the car that you were interested in? You experienced the car and you desired it. Because you desired it, it was stored in your system that the next time you see this car, flash it. Pay attention to it, right? So
Yeah.
this type of session will stimulate something deep inside you. It's going to raise dreams, hopes to the surface, and your mind will ask you again, do you still believe? Do you still want this? Are you still ready? And then you have to give it answer. You have to answer those questions. And whatever answer you give, when you wake up tomorrow, you become a new man, right?
Yeah.
Because every new day, as we gather new experiences, we are growing.
Hmm.
But trust
I
me,
got,
go on.
part of that, and the mindset part, the emotions part, and you mentioned about the skills part. Um, how do you explain to someone that lacks the consistency to achieve or manifest what they truly want in life? If they are not consistent, what does it mean? In
It's different for each person, right? While
Okay.
why
Hmm.
people are not right, why people are not consistent is different. One of the reasons is emotional dysregulation. The reason I teach these
It's an
classes is
emotional what regulation?
dysregulation.
Dysregulation. Okay. Okay. Hmm.
The reason, so one of the reasons I have these classes as part of my school is because when I'm coaching people one on one, most of the block, most of the things blocking them is emotional. You may have the skills. If you have the skills, if you have the knowledge, and you still find yourself starting, stopping, giving up, the problem is emotional, right? Because emotion is okay, let me try and break this down. The thoughts in your head, okay? Whatever thoughts you are carrying in your mind, the way you are designed, you would experience it in your body. Okay, let me break it down. Whatever thoughts are metaphysical. You know you cannot touch your thoughts, right? They are
Right.
metaphysical.
Hmm.
Okay. But your body is designed, okay, to convert your thoughts into sensations, to feel it in your body. You like
Right.
your
Meaning
body,
you can
right?
feel
Through
it.
the nervous system. You have nerves, you have electricity running in your nervous system that passes information up and down. Like if you touch fire, you go, ouch. Well, you sent a message to your mind, right? And
Yes.
your mind sends message back into your body, right? In my school, the bundle is right, like in the link, you can scroll down, you can see there are 7 classes, part of the emotional intelligence, right? So the nervous system is designed to convert your thoughts into matter, right? Like, right, where it releases hormones, okay? Is
Hmm.
that you are giving your instruction, like, so for example, if you're happy, there are certain you think happy thoughts, it will convert to certain hormones that will flow into your body will experience it. If you're upset, it will give another type of instruction, right? So there are stress hormones, cortisol, there's happy, right, endorphin, like, there are many of these things, right? If you put yourself in a state of happiness, you'll be motivated. So this is the secret. There are certain thoughts that will give you motivation to keep moving forward. But the moment you get confused, the moment you get discouraged, the moment you try something it doesn't work, they will trigger a sensation that if you don't know how to override that sensation, you'll be stuck. Or you back off because it will release pain in your body. There's pain. Stress is painful, right? It's like driving a car. You get to a junction. Do you want to turn right or turn left? The moment you say, I don't know, this is why ignorance is is what brings most pain. The moment you say, I don't know what next to do, I don't know how to move forward, the moment you signal to your mind, when your mind doesn't know, guess what happens? It will release some sensation in your body and you will experience serious pain. And that pain, if you don't train yourself, is like if you're in the gym of life, you are in the gym experiencing pain because of the pressure. It means it's working, right? You're supposed to stay under pressure. But most people, because of emotional dysregulation, they back out of the pain so they don't grow anymore. Because people don't know that success will pressure you. The growth, for you to grow, you'll be pressured. You want muscles, stay with the pressure. And most of the pressure is emotional. So when that pain comes, when you cannot bear the pain, people back out. Then they try something else again. They back out. They try because there's pressure. Many people don't tell you there's pressure to betting your dreams to manifestation. That's the problem. People who come on social media and tell you, oh, just follow me, just dance, just do this, just do that. But they forget to tell you that you must subject yourself to transformation.
That is a missing
They didn't tell
piece.
you that.
Yeah.
They didn't tell you that.
Nope.
Exactly. That you have to transform, that you have to grow muscles, that you have to develop new skills. And by practice, by discipline, manifestation, creativity is a painful process. I'll tell you that, but people won't tell you that, which is part of the problem today.
Yeah.
You cannot create. Now, let me tell you another secret. When you've gone through the entire process, when you enter a flow state, creativity becomes fun. But it doesn't become fun until you've mastered. There is a particular flow state. It's like when you become an expert and a master at anything, that's when you enter the flow state. That's when you start enjoying life. But before you get there, you have to mature. Everybody wants to run the race, but they don't know that you have to crawl, you have to stumble, you have to learn. But once you start walking, nobody's going to stop you. You can run, you can do anything you want. But that cycle of growth is the more, many people eventually, if they stay with gym, eventually they start enjoying it. But when they started, nobody enjoys it, right? It's pain, you sweat, but you have to subject yourself to keep growing, growing, growing. And once you pass through that painful middle, there are different names they call it, abyss of failure. There are many things. You dip, you go down, you are lost, right? This is why my school is there, so that you don't get lost, because many people don't recover out of the abyss of failure. Because
Mm.
people fail. People have to fail. It's like learning how to swim. Anytime you're learning anything new, you don't start from the top, you start from the bottom.
Quick question.
You try it. Sorry?
Why is it that it seems like when you're a child or you're growing up, you get to teenagers and whatnot, but it's like when you get to your that age, the corporate age, the professional age, and you growing, it's like for some reason I don't know about anybody else, but all of a sudden we become afraid of failure. Why is that?
Well,
Why are
oh,
we? It
mhm.
seems to me, for me personally, it seems that failure is something that it's like you
Again,
don't want to fail, but then you have to
yeah,
fail to get to the next level.
yeah, but think about this. The first 20 years, I don't know exactly, but just let's think about this. The school system is a very safe space.
Right,
That's it. Is if 20 years, it's like the I say the lion in the zoo. It's safe to be in the cage.
right.
It really is safe. You're not responsible for doing anything. You sign with your employer and your paycheck is guaranteed. But being a lion, freedom comes with responsibilities. Entrepreneurship comes with like many people, the reason people listen, don't think about the failure, because that's not going to help you much. It's just going to fear is one of those emotions that puts a brake on life. It's not going to help you can't break, you cannot do anything with fear. Let me tell you that. Fear is the shadow that locks people and throw away the key. Okay, so you have to just get rid of fear, and you have to put your eyes and your mind on freedom. Right? Do you want to live free? And do you want your children and the next generation to live a better life than you? You have to make the journey worth it, pretty much.
Right,
The risk,
right.
right? The risk involved. And one of the things I tell people in spiritual psychology is only the spiritually awakened side of you can take the risk that will lead you to success. You see, the mind as it is right now, your mind as it is right now, will not let you. Remember, I talked about the mind caging people and killing dreams. The
Oh yeah, the
moment the
thoughts.
mind,
Yep.
yes, because you haven't trained your mind, okay? It's like if you go to ChatGPT and if you ask ChatGPT some questions that it hasn't been programmed with, ChatGPT will tell you, sorry, I'm not connected to the internet, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing happens with your mind. If you try to use your mind to do something you haven't trained it to do, it will fight you. Your mind
Uh,
will
I,
fight
I,
you.
you know what? I mean, I've had enough of those. It's so bad. I mean, so this mind, this thought thing, it really truly immobilizes you
Yes,
to
but I'm
even move forward.
but I'm giving you the way out.
Right.
The way out is educate your mind. There's
Right.
nothing you want to do today you cannot do. But if listen, this is where we talk about consciousness, right? Consciousness is that you know what you know and you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And your mind can only use what you know. If you ask your mind to do what it doesn't know how to do, you will subject yourself to stress. Stress is when you reach a dead end and you don't know what the next step would be. You don't know, you don't have a way out. See, it's like if I give you a math equation, the teacher has never showed you how to solve the math problem. If I give you an assignment, if I say solve this exponential, this right complex math equation, and I say this is exam day, you cannot ask anybody for directions. Here's the pen, here's the paper, solve this. If you don't solve this, you're not going to graduate. Right? This is the pressure of life. If you don't solve this, you can't move forward. If you don't solve this, like it pressures you. Tell me, how are you going to solve an equation you have no answer to? And you can't ask anybody
Um,
a question.
yeah. I mean, you can't.
That's it. But here's the way out. Unlike being in school where they told you asking questions is cheating, right? Remember, in school, they'll tell you don't ask anybody question. You are being subjected to pressure. But in real life, you can ask a coach, you can ask a mentor, you can ask people who have gone ahead of you. Because after all, the things you've learned all through your journey, somebody taught you. Somebody taught you how to feed yourself, how to walk. Somebody taught you ABCD. Somebody taught you one, two, three. Why do you now think right now you don't need any teacher?
That is very interesting, actually, because it goes back to, I guess, the part of you being a human being that says to you, "Well, I'm grown now, so I could do
No,
whatever,"
it's the
and that
fault.
that is the
But that,
that's the
listen,
tricky that's the tricky
listen,
part of it.
that is, that, what you just said is lack of wisdom. That's what many people were made to believe the day you get your certificate, BSc, MSc, that you don't need any more education in life. That everything they've taught you, you are now, they put you on this pedestal, BSc, MSc, this, and now you're feeling big, as if you've reached the height of education. Mwah. That's where failure starts. You know why? Education at that level is packaged information.
Right.
They
So
only packaged, you told them you want to be an engineer, they gave you packaged engineering information. The day you want to step out, the day you want to do something that is outside of that education they gave you, your mind hasn't been trained.
right. So package is, to paraphrase, is what you've been fed with.
Yes, the mind is a digestive system. You are eating right now, right? Your body, your physical body eats food. The digestive system picks the food, but it separates it. Which one is useful that goes to the cells? Which one is useless? It goes out of your body again. The mind is exactly the same way. It's a digestive system, but it digests information and knowledge. But not everything that you expose the mind to is useful to you. When you sleep at night, your mind will sort it out. There are many things you cannot remember about yesterday, right? You may have spent 4, 5, 10 hours on social media scrolling this, scrolling. You may have been laughing on TikTok, but most of those things will be useless to your future. I speak very directly. This is the error of the day. People who consume useless information. They tell them they say, "Oh, I want to build $1 million business. I want this. I want this." But you are not pursuing the knowledge that will give it to you. You are going scrolling, and hoping to stumble. You don't stumble on those type of success. You have to be intentional and in pursuit of the type of knowledge that will give back to you. So your mind at night is checking how serious you are. You told
Mm.
your mind, I want to do this, I want to do that, but you're not feeding your mind what it needs. So at night, your mind is sorting it out. Guess what? Most of the things people are consuming online is actually useless. It would kick it out. It cannot file it because they don't add up, right? 30 seconds here, scrolling here, scrolling here, scrolling here. You are laughing, you're laughing, you're laughing. But when you sleep at night, the mind is trying to put it all together and draw meaning from it. But those things, do they really have meaning?
Right.
Right? So the mind cannot help when you are eating junk,
So what the mind
right?
can't process is spaced out. Basically, it's kind of an analogy we can use is based on what you just said.
Right. And but even better than that is feed your mind what it needs to do what you say you desire. Intentionality.
Yeah.
Don't pursue don't pursue things just because it's fun.
Right.
Now, if you are relaxing, please enjoy a movie.
Right.
But if you want results faster, part of the quantum leap program has to do with focus.
Pause right there. So intentionality and focus, does it go in hand in hand? Intention is basically to arrive at what you said you want to do, and focus is the energy to actually do it, or is there a
If
difference?
if you are intentional, you will focus.
Right.
Okay? If you are not intentional, you will lose focus. Your intention ought to be guiding where you are putting your time, energy, and resources. Right?
Yes.
Some people can tell you, I want this, but they are not focused because intention is driving yourself toward in the direction you want to go. And when you are driving in the direction you want to go, you have to be focused so you don't miss, you don't get distracted. People who are not focused get distracted. You might be intentional, but if you're not focused, you look the wrong way, you make the wrong turn, you go into the wrong room, you listen to the wrong person. This is what happens. You waste time and resources and energy. You may wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this." That's intentionality. You have an intention for your day. But guess what? What will make sure that throughout the day you stay focused so that when you check in with yourself at night, you can list out what you accomplished. Focus is what helps you accomplish it. So some people may be intentional, but because they are not disciplined, they lose focus, they waste the day. Then at night they're like, "Oh, I know I should have done this. I didn't do what I said I would do. Oh, ah, my friend called me. I did this, I did this." Then they say, "Oh, okay, tomorrow will be better." Okay? It's like you said, "I want to go to California." That was your intention. You started your car. Halfway in, you made the wrong turn. You settled, you never arrived. People who don't focus don't arrive. They are easily distracted because it actually takes incredible discipline to focus. You know why?
Why?
There's always going to be there's always going to be distractions and things that are fun that
Right.
wants to keep you away from doing the work that will get you the results.
Right.
Focus requires you to do the work.
So
To apply, focus is where you apply your time, energy, and resources, right? This is when you show up in the right place, in the right dimension, to do the right thing at the right time. People who are not focused, they procrastinate. They might say, "Oh, I want to build a business." Yes, they have intention, but when are you going to do the work? Oh, tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. I see it all over. People, a year, they will tell me, "Oh, I'm going to do this." A year after, you see them everywhere on social media. Oh, this. A year later, what did you do this year? They carry their problems from month to month. The problem that you could have solved in January, this is March, you've not solved it. You can be intentional, but focus is when you do if you assess the last 48 hours, how you spend the last 48 hours or the last 24 hours. If I look at your phone or where you went, that's when I would know if you're intentional or focused. Just look at what you did the last 24 hours. Which one contributes towards where you say you are going?
This is so weird. This is very it's like you could see through people's minds. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking back. You actually have me thinking about what I did the past 24 hours, and I'll tell you what, 90% was nothing really.
Yeah, if you keep it up for the next 1 year, nothing will change.
That's true.
That's actually that's why people carry dreams. 5 years later, it hasn't manifested. You can be carrying dreams around, but if you don't do the work and you don't gain the skills and you don't focus and you are everywhere but nowhere. And trust me, this is one thing I know for sure. I see that people who burn energy all through the streets of social media. They're here, they're here, they're here, they're here, they're here, they're here. They know everything, but they cannot do what they need to do.
That
Listen,
is so. That is so
you can
true.
read 10, yeah. Oh, I call people out on this thing.
Because it goes back to wow, like you look back at life, even me, and it's like wow, 4 years has gone by, and then we say wow, time flies, but we're still not really doing anything about it. Why is it so comfortable to kind of like stay the way we are, whilst we know that it's going to be very detriment to our future, and
Yeah, because laziness is delicious. Laziness is delicious. Who wants to work? Who wants to do anything? Everybody wants to eat delicious food. Who's going to cook it? Let's just call it what it is. Nobody wants to do anything. Everybody wants success. Only those who do the work will ever be rewarded. That's pretty much it. Life is fair. Life is very, in fact, you will walk, You will walk. You will walk because when you are walking is when you are growing. This is when you are developing skills. This is when you are becoming. Those who consume content but do nothing, listen, they are not moving. Listen, here's the trick of the mind. You can be so smart. The smartest people are the ones that achieve least success because they believe so much in their smarts. They don't know that this thing takes skills. And to develop skills, you will put yourself to work.
I
It's
want to ask you something about that because I mean I've been reading articles. I mean not just like recently, but just over the years in general, and you know it seems to be true. It seems that the people who are smart, unless they don't know they're smart, seems to kind of lay back and think that things are supposed to fall or make it or life is supposed to be easier because it's just they think they can just do it, and that goes back to I'll just do it tomorrow because I can actually get it done tomorrow. But then they keep procrastinating. It seems like that is something that
Mhm.
I've seen smart people do a lot.
Yeah. And it's by design. So I have to go very soon. So I'm going to start wrapping up. But let me tell you this. What you just described is by design. Those who sit around are not in competition, right? If you don't enroll in Olympics, you're not enlisted. You can't win, right? It's like when you remove yourself from the journey, it's better for those of us that are running the race. Why? One less competition. One less the competition. You can sit back, Netflix and chill, become a consumer. Guess what? You become a consumer because you'll be contributing all your money that powers the economy, but you've not built a system where you can build wealth or build assets. So in a way, they are living in their own universe of consumerism. Everything that I teach in my school are for producers. Producers, right? So there's the producer mindset, there's the consumer mindset. The consumer mindset sits back, rolls its hands or folds its hand and then says, feed me, entitlement mindset. You don't want to do any work, but trust me, you will pay the people that are doing the work. That's how the marketplace is, right? Is you will pay for everything you're consuming. Remember, I talked about being the source, right? Being a producer, this is what builds economy. This is what builds ownership. These are the people who own assets and assets that can be monitored. You are on another island. So you decide who you want to be a consumer. You can have 10 degrees, it doesn't matter, right? Just go and hand your money from your employer, bring it into the marketplace. You will use your money to buy everything you need. And the people you're spending your money with, the people who produced your food, your shoes, your handbags, your cars, right? Those who sold you, they are the ones that have, right? They are the producers and they are the ones building wealth. You decide. This is not for everybody. It's not
Okay,
for everybody.
right. I know you're about to leave, but you know what? I'm really interested in your. I'm gonna do it. Actually, I'll send you a message when I do it. I sign up. I was looking at your website now, going through a few things, and realized like that you did mention like the entry level part where if people want to start off on the right way. I'm looking at the emotional intelligence part, and you have 6 lessons on that, and so I would subscribe to that the bundle offer, and I would send you a message when I do it.
Yeah. That would change your entire life. It's actually I added another lesson to it, 7. It's now 7. So I keep on teaching and adding more stuff. But that's in fact that class is for every single person, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. That will completely change your life, your relationships. Like it's just life changing. I have people like literally testimonies of like it just changes. Okay, my dear. It changes everything. I recommend it to every single human being because it's a game changer, right? So it's actually 7 classes now because I added one about storytelling, telling stories that will help you be prosperous because everything happens inside of us before you see it outside. You have to build your own belief system, right? You have to build your own identity. You have to build up your confidence with your own the stories running inside us must be giving us life. It must give us life. You have to feed yourself a sense of belief that is inspired. If it takes you singing song, getting, many people eventually you have to design maybe your own music playlist in the mornings, anything that pumps you up, that gets you excited about your day. Those are the things you have to start leaning to. Anything that you have to run away from those things because they're not giving you life. You have to actually be feeding yourself serious. You have to be pumping yourself up in all areas. That's what's required. You need it every day because one thing can happen. And I talk about dysregulation, right? If you don't set your thermostat, somebody might speak to you and you lose your energy. You just go, I'm not, I don't, right? You just get discouraged. Well, guess what? You have to encourage yourself. So those are the tools in those series as well. How to bring yourself back. Any other question?
Okay. Oh no, for me, I'm done. You've spoken enough, and you've given me some tips already. So that's yeah, that's good for me.
Listen,
Yeah.
I
But
appreciate.
the thing that
Go
the
on.
thing is that you could tell me everything I need to hear, but at the end of the day, like you said, I have to work. You have to do the work. You have to want to transform. So yes.
Yeah, and this is very beautiful because there's really no going back. And remember, I said manifestation is about who you become.
Yeah.
And the moment you become, life will open new doors of opportunities, will open up. Many of my students, like, there's so many testimonies of, people who now work with World Bank, people designing curriculums for state level. Because what I've realized is, listen, life is in front of you. It's like a buffet, right? There's really nothing, anything you want to achieve is in front of you. You can choose, but be careful what you choose, because you now have to cook that food. If I tell you what do you want to eat, you can choose, but now who's going to cook the food? That's the work. But most people don't want to cook. They want somebody else to cook. But those who don't want to cook, then you pay a price, right? It's so life is just an interesting thing. I just try to create awareness for people as well. So thank you, everyone. Hi, Kevina. Good to see you. Sister girl, thank you for being here. Greetings, everyone. So I have to run now, but literally, I just opened the room to have a great conversation. So thank you, Mike, for coming
Thank
to
you.
the
Thank you.
stage. I appreciate you all. God bless. I'll see you around.
Bye
Bye.
bye.